Alright guys, I'm making this little video. I'm not by any means a professional in any way with the tali or the scout or electronics or anything of that sort. I am mechanically inclined, but I wanted to make this video to try and help out the beginners like myself and just show you what I did to try and mod this the servo gear from having any further issues. And I'm not sure that this is going to work, but this is what I have done. So for the beginners, what I have done is I have turned my Scout upside down, balancing it with some towels on my workbench, and I left the props on. I don't think there's any reason to take them off per se. Now I've already taken off one side. So what you want to do first is take off your gimbal just to get that out of the way. Now I've already taken off one side. Like I said, for the beginners, what you want to do is you want to take off these two screws here. Of course, in the process of doing this the first time, because I haven't seen any other videos yet, I just started taking all this apart and seeing what I needed to do. But from what I can remember of taking off the other side, you really can't go wrong. Just be careful, pay attention to what you're doing. But take these two off, and what you have inside of there is going to be just a socket that it hooks into. So when you pull this off of here, you're not going to have any wires that you have to worry about plugging in or unplugging or so on and so forth. And when I was doing the other side, I just left the carbon fiber attachment together. You know, I took the screw out of this to take it off the shaft, and I was really trying to pull on it, and I started worrying that I was going to end up breaking something. So I just left that on there. So some might come off easy, others might not. But nonetheless, I got it balanced on this. So I've taken this side off completely. And then once you take it off, you're going to have screws on either side. And all this stuff in here, when I took it off initially, I was being real careful to make sure that anything that fell out, I would know where it went back to. But everything really is self-explanatory on how it goes back in. I don't really think you can have it wrong and put it back in. So you got screws on the bottom side that you're going to take out, and it includes Allen heads and Phillips heads. You're going to need a really tiny Phillips head. What I'm using is a multi-tool Allen, and I broke the little screws, the little Allens. I broke it loose with this simply because I don't have a normal little T-handle. So I broke it loose with this. Then I used a multi-tool flathead screwdriver once they were loose to make it easy work of taking them out, and then just put them down. So you're going to need your Allen, your T-handle to break it loose. I got a pair of needle nose here, of course a little Maglite magnifying glass, and then a multi-tool screwdriver, Phillips, and flathead. Now I've got this one off. What I'm going to do, of course I'm going to do like Jeffrey Chan and Matt Chan did, and I'm going to do the 3M tape and cut a little piece to put on each side of right here, each side here, so that when it hits the micro switches, let me show you the micro switches. So when this slides back and forth here and hits these little micro switches to shut it off, the padding that is on here is going to soften the blow to the micro switch. But I think what a lot of people have found out is that behind these micro switches there's a gap, and now you can see I have toothpicks in that little gap. Let me take one out And I apologize for the video quality. I'm not a video guy. But when you're looking straight down, let me see if I can point that out. When you're looking straight down here, there's a gap right there behind that micro switch. And I think the problem is, you know, this micro switch is being hit and it doesn't have any support behind the micro switch. So what I've found, I've already cut a couple pieces, but just shove a toothpick down in there nice and gentle, and then get an idea of where it needs to be cut off in order for it to be left in there. So you're going to have a shim made out of a toothpick. Now you can make that out of a small piece of a Coke bottle, some sort of little rectangle plastic. In this situation, I've marked a couple toothpicks and I just put it down in there gently. I don't want to jam it down in there hard, but it certainly isn't going to go anywhere. And then pull it out, cut it off, and then jam it back down in there and push it in with another toothpick or a small screwdriver. And then I'm putting just a tiny little bit of glue on the opposite side that does not touch the micro switch. It touches the casing just to hold it in place just ever so slightly so it can't jiggle loose. Although I don't think it would jiggle loose anyways. So what I'm going to do is, to bridge that gap, I'm going to use the toothpick on one side, on one side of the scout, and then I haven't taken the other side apart yet, but I'm going to take the other side apart, and down in that little tiny gap I'm going to use a glue that I love using. It's called Goop, and what it is, it's not really runny. It's kind of like thick, but has a really good consistency to it. So I'll be able to put just a little tiny dab on there, and what I'll do is take my little pliers. Now I'm one-handed here. I'll grab a hold of this, and this will slide up so that I can put the little dab on there and then slide it back down. And then what I'm going to do is allow it to dry, and then any area here that might be having some glue stick up just a little bit, I'll trim with a razor blade so that the casing closes again. So I'm going to go ahead and do this side with the toothpick, and then I'll make a video of the other side as best I can using the glue. So I'm going to have kind of two mods. Now of course I'm still going to use the 3M tape that was suggested and other people have used on the surface that right here that actually is recommended by everybody in the group there, Jeffrey Chan and those guys who are very knowledgeable about this stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. Toothpicks on this one, then I'm going to take apart the other side, and I'm going to use just a dab of glue that when it dries, it's going to support that little tiny gap that'll allow to stop this micro switch from being jiggled back and forth during that hard hit of the servo gear going back and forth. I hope this was somewhat helpful.